time. We're going to sing it through. Say what God has for me. When God has for me. Come on, I need you to sing it like you believe it, and this is your testimony. When God has for me. No without a doubt, oh, without Judges 7. While you're still in this vein of what God has, look at somebody and say what God has for me. Somebody say what God has for me. I don't know about you, but I feel such a freedom in the house of God because I know that what God has for me, it is for me. Whatever the devil told you, look at your neighbor and say it was a lie. It was a lie. It was a lie. It was a lie. That thing is a talk about you wasn't going to get it. Talk about you wasn't going to make it. What God has for you, it is for you. Amen, somebody. Amen. That's for me. It is for me. Come on, put your hands together and bless the Lord right now. All right, I got a message from the Lord. I got a word that I believe is going to bless you coming out of Judges 7. And so I'm going to preach it like he gave it to me. So Don, I need you to make sure you stay on point with me. Gary, don't move too far. Rich, don't move too far. I don't know what the Lord's going to do, but I know he's going to do it. He's going to do it just like he did. You hear what I'm saying? I feel his presence in this place. And I want to encourage somebody because the message today is simple. And I'm going to give you the title before I even give you the text. You got enough to win the fight.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, let me encourage somebody who don't know what I'm talking about. You got enough to win the fight.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Okay, let me talk to somebody else. Maybe somebody else might understand what I'm talking about. Maybe on this side.
All right.
You got enough to win the fight.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah.
Gary, you got enough
Amen.
to win the fight.
Amen.
All right,
I believe that.
all right, let me get to this text so I can get that where you need it to be. Then, first verse, chapter 7. I'll read for you. You ain't got to stand. I'm going to stand for you because we're going to be doing a little moving. Is that all right? Then, in Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and all the people who were with him rose early and encamped beside the well of Harod, and so that the camp of the Midianites was on the north side of them and on the hill of Moriah and in the valley. Somebody say in the valley.
In the valley.
And the Lord said to Gideon, the people who are with you are too many to give the Midianites into your hand, lest Israel claim glory for itself against me, saying, my own hands have saved me. Now listen, this isn't all I'm going to read, but that's all I'm going to read for right now, because I need you to get my first point, because I'm going to elaborate on it. This idea of him saying there was too many folk, and the scripture kind of interprets itself. It said because they would take the glory for it. And so I need to help somebody and understand that it wasn't because of the number God was talking about. God wasn't dealing with the number, Kathy. God was dealing with their methodology. Let me help you. He wasn't dealing with the number, meaning how many folk were actually there on the battlefield. God was dealing with their methodology. He was trying to get Israel to realize that their miracle was going to happen, or their victory was going to come, not because they did what they've always done.
Amen.
let me get out the Bible and let me come into your life. Now I understand that every time you need something, Lynn, you can always call that old faithful number. And because you got that old faithful number, you know you can get that need fixed or handled or whatever it may be. But God said specifically to the Israelites, he said that you got too many folk. What he was saying to Lynn, you won't need that number in this struggle. Matter of fact, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to give you a need that even that old faithful number can't fix.
Amen.
All right.
Why? Because the reality of this struggle has very little to do with the need actually getting fixed, but changing the way you see the need.
Amen.
God doesn't give you a need unless he needs to teach you something.
Yes.
Let me help somebody who's listening, and the three that just fell asleep, wake them up real quick and tell them the reason why you find yourself going around that same mountain because you refuse to learn the lesson concerning the mountain.
Amen.
See, you don't understand that the problem with the children of Israel being in the wilderness had very little to do with how long it took to get somewhere.
Amen.
But see, it had everything to do with the fact that they needed to let go of the way in which they did things. And not only the way in which they did things, but also the people in which they did it with.
Yes.
I used to get discouraged and overwhelmed when I didn't see what I thought was enough people with me, Amy, because I thought I needed X amount of people for God to be glorified. And then I learned as I went through my seasons of testing and pruning that it wasn't about the amount of people that I had, but having the people that were authorized to be with me.
Amen.
Because what I found is that when I'm going through issues in life, I want everybody who I think can help to be around me, not realizing that some of those folk don't have my best interests at heart.
Amen.
Okay, let me help some. Some of you have a pimp and prostitute relationship with your sources. The pimp really don't like you. The pimp really don't want you. But the pimp understands that as long as you have a need, he has an employee.
All right. Amen.
And see, this is the problem with the church, is that we try to treat God in the same fashion. We said, well, God, as long as I'm still doing stuff for you, you'll keep working this stuff out for me, right? God, as long as I keep on showing up, God, that should be enough for you, right? No, what God was trying to get you to realize, I'm trying to grow you somewhere. I'm trying to prepare you to go into something greater than where you are. But the reason why you can't hear my direction is because you keep listening to those know-nothing folk around you that don't even care about you. So what I got to do is bring a storm that even makes your faithful few leave you.
All right.
All right.
Oh, we got quiet.
Amen.
And so when I look back at my struggle, and then I'll go back to the text in a second. Joe, when I look at my struggle of depression, I said, oh my God, why would God allow me to go through such a thing? You know, I'm the man of God. I'm the one that they call on for prayer. That's what I thought. But then God had to do something for me. He had to show me that this is the storm that's going to remove that which you wouldn't let go yourself.
All right.
You didn't know your sister was such and such until you went through a real struggle.
Amen.
And then she starts saying, well, baby, maybe you really did something. Look at your text. Let's go back to the text. Let me show you right here. Watch this. He said, they encounter, he said, the people you have to me, let's just say, for my own have sent me motion. Now therefore proclaim to the hearing of people, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn and depart at once. Everybody say that with me. If you are fearful and afraid, run.
Run. All right.
Okay, let's say it again. If you are fearful and afraid, run. Why am I saying this to you? Some of you got some folk that ain't really act like they ain't never been scared, but they ain't never really seen a real trial.
All right.
Oh, you say you struggling right now because your check was 3 days late and you don't know what you're going to do about this payment arrangement. Why don't you fool around and try a person who ain't had no money about 4 months and see how you make it?
All right. All right.
Okay, all right, oh, you know, ain't nobody ever going to put their hands on me, and you ain't never had a fight before. And see, now you fool around and get in a fight, they smack you one time, and you done ran 3 states over. When a real trial comes, the people around you will show their true colors. The thing I love about trouble and the issues that come with them, Sister Gabriel, is the simple fact that it always lets me know what was meant to be with me and who was imitating their friendship.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. So true. Preach.
Let me explain something to you. Let me show you how it works in the church. When God gets ready, Sister Stacy, to take the church, his body, to a different level or a higher level, he always begins to prune.
Preach.
He always begins to shun away dead limbs that aren't producing fruit,
Yes.
but are in the way of real fruit.
Wow.
That's the reason why, as I watch the cycle of churches and you see people come and they go and come and then they go, but yet you see the church still stands. Why? Because those that are authorized to be with the Lord's church will remain with the church, but it's not because of them that the church stands, but it's because of God's purpose is yet still on the church. I need to talk to a few folk who think their last season disqualified them from working for God.
All right.
I know God just brought you out of drug use, but you're still qualified.
Amen.
I know God just brought you out of hoeing, but you're still qualified.
Amen.
I know God just brought you out of using people, but you're still qualified.
Amen.
I know God just brought you out of being discouraged, but you're still qualified. I'm talking about 7 or 8 people right now who's trying to figure out if God still remembers them.
All
All
right.
right.
Come here and get in. The first thing God told him, he said, get rid of everybody who's fearful and afraid. You know why he said that? Why fearful and afraid? Why was that the first call to cut folk off? Because, are you ready for this? Y'all sure y'all can handle this? You sure? I might need to sit down for this one. When God really gives you the vision of what he's calling you to, it's going to be so big. It ain't even going to be the enemies that's scared of folk. It's going to be the amount of work that's going to scare the folk.
Amen. Amen.
All right.
Say it.
When God gives you a vision, he don't tell you to fool around and build a drum set. He tell you to build a recording studio.
All right.
Amen.
When God gives you a vision, he's not telling you to fool around and just write a book. He's telling you to create a library.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's giving you something that you can't do on your own.
Amen.
So what's the issue? What's the problem? What happens in this process? Simply because your character and your focus and your commitment must be lined up with what God is saying. Because what's going to happen during the process, baby, as you're growing, you're going to find people coming and going. Coming in your life and leaving out of your life. You're going to see folk that are going to hold you up one day and forget you the next. But that's the reason why when they praise you, you need to keep on working. When they hate you, you need to keep on working. If you are trying to only work because you're getting some praise, baby, I promise you, you're going to quit in about 2 days.
Amen.
If Jesus only stayed true to his mission because of the folk that stayed with him, I'm telling you, he would have never died on the cross.
Yeah.
But the reality was he had something in his head that he heard that kept reminding him that not my will. Look at the Garden of Gethsemane dialogue. He was in the garden and he was struggling, right? He was saying, God, let this cup pass, right? That's what he was saying. No, he was asking for strength to overcome because he realized that the folk he imparted the most to would desert him at his worst moment. Why is that important for us to know? Because you and me have to remember the destiny that God has called us to. You didn't come through all the hell and high water that you've been through just to quit and die right here somewhere in the middle of some desert. Look at your Bible. Let me give you one more verse and I'll turn you loose. Look at your neighbor and say, wake up now.
Wake up now.
Now they still ain't wake up. Hit them again.
Wake up.
And 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. And the Lord said to Gideon, what did he say, Tony? The people are still too many. bring them down to the water, and I will test them. Listen, it says in the text, I will test them there for you. Let me explain something to you real quick. I need you to all get this principle. Please catch this, 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 please catch this. Some of the struggles that you've gone through in your life, Sharon, that was God testing your associates and not even you. The reason why, Rufus, your trial was so public because God wanted to show you who really didn't care about you. The reason why you went through what you went through and it went so viral because God wanted you to stop having value in people that aren't investing in you. Because your foolish tale, as soon as you got a blessing, you was going to give them something, not realizing that you were about to waste your blessing. I can make it work if you want to. Then it will be that whom I say to you shall go with you. And he told them, listen, paraphrasing, said, those who lack like a dog are the only ones who will be qualified. And he went from 22,000, Sandy, down to 10,000. Then from 10,000, went down to 300 folk. Let me give you this revelation. We're done. During this last season, God began to take away everything from you that you didn't need in this season. Also, he began to change your methodologies in this last season, the way you thought. And then not only did he take away people and methodology, but he also reassured you of your purpose in this last season. Because even though you were going through hell and high water, you still found some way to make it, eat, and still live where you were.
Amen.
You thought it was all over, said and done, because you didn't have what you need, but you found out that God was still keeping you. God's provision was still faithful. When I watched the seasons that the church has gone through, despite all, we're still standing and still ended up in the black. Why? Because God said, I'm going to take care of my church.
Amen.
And not only is God going to take care of his church, but he's also going to take care of you.
Amen.
And I know you looked at your life, you say, look, I'm looking at my account, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this month. And then you get to the end of the month and say, I still got money left over and everything paid. And nobody did it but God.
Amen.
I look around in my friendship, I look at these friends and these relationships, and I lost about 12 people, but I still don't feel lonely.
Amen. Amen.
Why? Because you finally learned the lesson that God was trying to teach you in that last season. He was trying to teach you that if you lose focus on me, you're going to lose everything.
All right.
But if you stay focused on me, you're going to have everything. Let me say this to you, everybody stand.